Why should you never resign in chess? Well, I'm going to show you 5 games where my opponent resigned and they really didn't have to. And these games are all from the past month. So it happens pretty often. And I would say it applies to people whose rating is even my rating and below, like 1600 or below. At a certain level, it's kind of disrespectful not to resign if it's just a clear loss. But a lot of times it's not a clear loss. And that's kind of the situations we're going to go over. This is also day 71, I think, on my journey to 2000. So every day I try to improve. And today, part of that is actually keeping this in mind. And going over these games is a way of improving. Anyway, this is how the first game starts here. And this game I actually wanted to show you guys from the other day. I didn't yet. This was like 2 days ago. And we go into Vienna, which is kind of my go-to right now. But my opponent plays this pawn move. And I think the idea behind this pawn move is to try to take complete control of the center. I should have dealt with that. I should have thought, okay, I can take now and take. And I'm not in my regular Vienna game, or at least what I'm comfortable with, where you could give away this pawn, bring the knight out, castle, kingside, and have a quick attack. That's what I'm used to. But this works very well because usually when the queen comes out, it can get attacked very quickly with a knight move, knight c6. My opponent blocked that, that idea of knight c6. And I'm threatening to take the g7 pawn if he moves the bishop. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. Anyway, I push the pawn, going for the Vienna gambit, and getting my knight out. And I take, he takes, which is always bad. You got to keep the pressure here, right? My knight can't move because I'm going to lose my queen. He takes, I take. This gives me this access to the pawn. He takes, and now it's like kind of similar to Vienna. My opponent brings a queen out, and I recognize that trading is not best because I'm going to help him develop the knight, and I castle because at least it'll get my rook out. That was a fine move, but I have this beautiful move. Look at that. Boom! I'm threatening stuff. I'm threatening to move his king around. Anyway, I don't do that. I castle. We trade. He checks, and the game kind of continues. I try to connect my pawns, develop more pieces, and it becomes very interesting. Like, I'm thinking of ways like traps that I could do here and kind of interesting stuff. I spent some time on some of these moves, but apparently I was supposed to reroute my bishop. I need to get used to this idea. See, this is like the stuff I'm learning. I need to get used to the idea of rerouting pieces, like bishops, knights. A lot of times, the best move when things are kind of static and is to reroute your pieces. Like, you have time to do that. And I think the hard thing for me is recognizing when the opportunity to do that comes. It's like one of my biggest problems right now. Anyway, I come in with this pawn attack. I take, and I'm forced to move the knight away. And it kind of gives my opponent time to do some other stuff. I trade. He's making some progress, and I'm like, okay, let me push all of his resources into this corner. I'm going to lose the pawn, but I'm going to have a quick attack here, and I'm going to bring my pieces here. My knight living on f5 looks really good. So that's what I do. I move my knight. He blocks. I start attacking. I takes, and I bring my bishop around. Apparently, again, I could have rerouted here. I could have rerouted the knight. I'm guessing to come to this c4 square and deal with all this stuff. But that's what I could have done, and it's very interesting stuff. Anyway, I still stick to my plan, and I'm losing. I'm just losing here because I'm down a pawn. It's like that simple. And my opponent could just break through the position here, probably create a passed pawn. I'm not sure, maybe like this, and already this is a very serious threat. Doesn't do that. Instead, it comes to start defending the king side. I start playing faster because I'm getting low on time, trying to bring my king into the position, and I take a while, but finally my knight comes to f5 to go for this trade. And I intentionally take with the e4 pawn, which I was pretty proud of myself, so my king could come to the center and kind of deal with any threats, and potentially take the pawns and whatever. But around this time, I kind of recognize this is a draw. This is just a drawn position. I'm down a pawn. I can't make any progress. If I push a pawn, I'm just creating more problems. He can't come through because my pawns actually block his access for his king to come through, and I recognize that a few moves earlier. His bishop can't do anything because all my pawns are intentionally on light squares. So I recognize this as a draw. Like, what can my opponent do? I'm just going to go back and forth and see what happens. And here he resigns. And here I'm getting a little worried. I'm like, yeah, this is probably a draw, but this actually looks kind of scary. And the idea here is that if the king, I guess he was scared my king is gonna come close and eat everything, and then I'm gonna have this pass pawn on b3. But I mean, he has his own threats. The idea here is he can actually attack my bishop. I can go for this pawn, and if he attacks it, and we trade, this is actually not so simple. He checks me, and I'll never win that pawn. And that's it. It's a drawn position. He's up 2 points, and it's a draw. It's such a cool position. Like, he just keeps protecting. The computer says coming here, actually. I thought you'd go back and forth. Even when I was analyzing it, that's what I saw. But okay, like, I don't know. This looks crazy. This looks crazy hard for black. But okay, like, maybe that's not easy to see. But back here, why resign? I'm not entirely sure, and we were very close in time also. Don't resign, right? Okay, second game here. You know, just going into like normal stuff, playing Panziani opening, and I don't really know the stuff here, and I just let my knight get taken. This is a big mistake I have to work on. I recognized here that my knight getting attacked is okay, but I didn't move it. And here I have this counterattack. This is a very typical move when the bishop is on c4, I feel like, stopping the bishop from looking at the f7 square. I just castled because I was scared of his pieces coming into the position. It kind of reminded me of a fried liver-ish type of game, but different because he has this pawn on e5, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. But this move kind of stops all my problems, right? Takes, and this is an even game. Looks crazy to me. Looks insane. Looks hard to deal with. But it's even, because after the queen comes to attack, what do you do as white? I mean, it looks like you could come here, to be honest. But I'm guessing you just bring more pieces to the battle, and... Well, I don't know if that move makes sense, but whatever. Interesting stuff. Game continues. Apparently, I'm winning. Okay, I don't do that. I castle. He doesn't take my knight. He puts some more work here, and he resigns. I'm gonna assume that this person was busy and had to go. But how do you resign in this position? This is just totally even. I assumed this was totally winning. After taking, it's actually not. But it's like a complicated situation. He can't take because I have this attack. It's not so simple, you know? Well, okay. Maybe I see that I'm winning, but I don't know. He still has a queen. My king is open. It's not so simple. And he resigns. Okay. Third game, I play with 91.8% accuracy. I'm a god, I know. We go into the Sicilian, which I'm pretty good at for some reason. Oh, I only have a 49% win rate with it. I thought I had a better win rate with it. Wait. For Rapid, I think I have a better win rate. When I play Blitz and Bullet, I don't really pay much attention to the game. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Wait, this kind of makes me sad. I thought my Sicilian gameplay was better. Wait. Maybe I have to study the Sicilian more. I do like going into it. Anyway. The game goes into this like weird thing, and right away I take advantage, and you've guys seen me maybe take advantage of this in the past. But the knights are just super strong for a queenside attack early on in many lines of the Sicilian, I feel like, or at least the games I've played. I come in and I take a rook. And yes, I'm up a rook, but you still have this annoying queenside attack that I don't think is super simple for me to deal with, and I'm not dealing with it well. You could see, you know, the eel bar is slightly going down. But okay, like, you're losing here. Still, I would say this is not very clear. To me, it wasn't very clear. My bishop is stuck. Yeah, I'm probably going to start a kingside attack, but I mean, I have to deal with this, right? Actually, okay, maybe it's going to be hard for him to bring his rook into the game, but still, whatever. That was the only one that was like, okay. My opponent plays with 94.6% accuracy. I play 95.3. I refuse to believe that all of these people were just had to go, right? Like, at one point, they probably just resigned for no reason. So here we go into this position, and oh, I just love how well I played here. It's so cool. And I recognize you have to take that knight because it's harmful on d4. I've talked about that before. And right here, all of this stuff happens, and I went over this game a couple of days ago, and you could see I'm just trying to trade off queens. not very simple. The game would have continued. But my opponent resigns after this move. I guess because I have a huge time advantage, but why resign? I could easily make a mistake. And yeah, this is how the game I thought would go on. That's what I calculated really quickly. Not the pawn move, but until here. Like, after this, what do you do? I'm not completely sure. And the last game here, also very close. At least starting off very close. I just lose that pawn because I'm playing super fast. He gets into my position. And I'm just playing super fast. I have 9 minutes, 30 seconds. He spends like a minute on this move. I don't make the best move. I'm losing. I'm just making losing moves. Losing after losing moves. My opponent resigns. This is an even game. My opponent resigns. Maybe they saw that they blundered or something, but maybe they were scared of this. They're like, what do I do after this? This is my assumption, right? Because the queen and bishop come in with the attack. Oh, I'm going to lose my queen. Maybe this is his thought process. This seems like a way to block that idea. I don't know, just by looking at this for a split second. But there you go, guys. Don't resign, okay? Don't resign. If you're on a losing streak, take a break. Get back into the game later. But, you know, things could always turn. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you watched till now, say deck, because I'm looking at my stream deck, and that's the second word, in the comments, so I know you've watched this far. I really do appreciate all you guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.